Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Omar Santana-Gomez. I use he, him pronouns, and I am the Legislative Director for the Washington State Office of Equity. Joining you here for our first Equity in Session video of the 2026 legislative session. Wow, has it been a busy start for sure. So just a couple of housekeeping items. Today I'm going to cover some of the basics of session as a recap. This will include the session calendar with important cutoff dates, and the Department of Enterprise Services calendar that lists events happening on Capitol campus throughout the session. By the time our video airs, you will still have a couple of my favorite advocacy days left on the calendar. Hint, hint, they are food related because who doesn't like a free sample? Anyway, I will follow up that information on how to testify on bills, and if you can't testify or be in person at the Capitol to attend hearings, how to watch online. Finally, as you may remember, our team member Patrick joins us for the Bills to Watch portion of our episode. With it being a short session and so much going on, Patrick won't be joining us, but he will be making a cameo. More on that later. Okay, so let's get started. First on our list is the cutoff calendar. As of the airing of this video, we would have passed our first major session cutoff, the Policy Committee cutoff. This important deadline gives us a look at what bills are going to continue during session. As a refresher, when legislative bills are introduced to the legislature, they are put into their specific subject matter committees based on the topic of the bill. So a bill that deals with education would go to a committee that deals with education. What this first deadline tells us is that for most bills, if they are not voted out of the committee they started in, known as the House of Origin, then these bills are considered dead and will not be continuing during this session. This does not stop them, like many bills, from coming back in the future. It just means they won't make it any further this session. So February 4th is that first major deadline. So that is where we're at currently on the timeline of session. Now let's take a look at another calendar that is very useful during session. Our Washington State Department of Enterprise Services deals with events that happen on campus. During session, you will find every day has different events hosted by different advocacy groups. We will link the calendar in this video so you can check out any events that might interest you. Okay, so those are the two calendars for today's video. Now let's talk about how to participate in the legislative process. If you are interested in providing testimony or just signing into a bill as pro, which means you want the bill to pass, or con, you do not want the bill to pass, or other, this option is used by organizations that don't or can't sign in to support or oppose a bill, but want to offer their thoughts or expertise. So from the landing page of the legislative website, at the top, you will find a tab that says Learn and Participate. Follow that link. From there, you can scroll down and you will find a box on the right that says How to Testify at a Committee Meeting. You click on that, and just below We're Open to Public Participation, you will see Testifying in Person or Remotely underlined in blue. Once you follow that link, you are able to navigate a couple of options that will lead you to the specific committee, date, time of the bill you would like to testify on. Whether you are in person or virtual, you are able to sign up to provide testimony. Legislators want to hear from you. Reasonable accommodations can be made to participate as well. So now what if you don't want to testify, you just want to watch the hearing but can't make it into Olympia for the hearing? That is where TVW comes in. TVW was founded in the 90s and offers unedited coverage of Washington state government, politics, and public policy. Their website is great and offers access to previous committee meetings as well as live footage of bills being heard every day throughout session. Thank you, TVW, for the service. Okay, switching it up a little now. Like I mentioned before, Patrick Stickney, our Senior Policy and Legislative Affairs Advisor, who has done our Bills to Watch segment, won't be joining us. However, he will be joining us every now and then through cameos. Since the start of session, Patrick has been meeting with legislators, researching bills, and providing testimony. So like I walked you through how to testify, now let's watch it in action through 3 bills that Patrick has been able to provide testimony on. So first up, we have House Bill 2411 in the House State Government and Tribal Relations Committee. To summarize this bill expands the types of events that qualify a state employee for the leave sharing program to include employees who are victims of a hate crime and employees whose absence from work is due to the involvement of that employee or that employee's family member in an immigration enforcement action. Let's take a look.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Ranking Member Waters, and members of the committee. Patrick Stickney with the Washington State Office of Equity. The Office of Equity has been charged to coordinate agency responses to immigration issues under Executive Order 2509. We are joint OFM in strong support of 2411. The bill supports employees in particularly traumatic and stressful periods of their lives. So we join the ask to move forward this bill.
Next up, we have House Bill 2332 in the House Civil Rights and Judiciary Committee. This bill prohibits the use of automated license plate readers, or ALPRs, systems by all state and local government agencies except those explicitly authorized to use ALPR systems for specified purposes.
Good afternoon, Chair Taylor and members of the committee. Patrick Stickney, for the record, Patrick Stickney with the Office of Equity. We are testifying in support of House Bill 2332. The Office of Equity was charged under Governor Ferguson's Executive Order 2509 for coordinating agencies in their responses to the immigration-related issues that are faced by Washingtonians. As part of establishing that subcabinet, we held a number of listening sessions for members of the public to share their immigration-related concerns and needs, and we wanted to share that here today. In these listening sessions, data sharing and surveillance, including automated license plate readers, was a primary driver of distrust. On a personal level, we heard statements such as, I don't know what data is being collected, who has access, or how it's used, and that uncertainty is terrifying. Data minimization isn't a technical issue, it's a safety issue, and technology that's supposed to keep us safe is making us afraid. This bill will provide more protection and certainty. We appreciate your consideration of this bill and ask that you move it forward.
And finally, we have House Bill 2475 in the House State Government and Tribal Relations Committee. This bill requires the Office of Equity to, by December 1st, 2027, develop uniform guidelines for state agencies to provide for consistent delivery of language-accessible public programs, activities, and services in a manner that meets the needs of its participants. This also requires state agencies to, within existing resources, adhere to the guidelines established by the Office of Equity, requires the Office of Equity to, by December 1st, 2027, collaborate with certain groups to develop a proposal for addressing the statewide shortage of qualified spoken and sign language interpreters and translators.
Good afternoon, Chair Mena, Vice Chair Stearns, Ranking Member Waters, and members of the committee. For the record, Patrick Stickney with the Washington State Office of Equity. As a state agency, we are testifying other on House Bill 2475. We believe that increasing clarity and consistency in how state agencies provide language-accessible programs, activities, and services is an important element of a customer-focused and responsive state government. As noted in the bill and the bill report, more than 20% of households in the state speak a language other than English at home. Language access is important across all aspects of life, and the lack of these services is shown, for example, to lead to worse health outcomes. The need for language accessible information is critical, especially in emergency situations. The bill as written would be fully implementable by the Office of Equity. The Office of Equity would be directed to work with interested parties to develop guidelines for clarity and consistency across state agencies, and to develop solutions to addressing the shortage of qualified interpreters and translators with, as mentioned, an emphasis on languages of lesser diffusion and rural areas. State agencies would then have discretion and lead time in implementing the guidelines as it fits their situation. Agencies would be able to implement simpler changes such as standardized intake questions and taglines on state websites and resources, while planning improvements on larger items for the future in a more coordinated fashion. This will allow for greater consistency and coordination of language access across state agencies. Thank you for the opportunity to provide more information about this bill, and I am available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Patrick, for all your amazing work. Well, that wraps up our first video of the 2026 legislative session. Join us again towards the end of February for our next video. Thank you, everyone.